Rise of Incarnates reveals 2 new characters and Paris as a new battleground, Mortal Online gets an entirely new game engine, and Elsword powers up with new hyperactive skills. What's happening, guys? This is James Ballon with MMOHuts.com with a quick weekly recap for MMO news and announcements for the week ending June 16th, 2014. And things are a little bit quieter after E3, but that should change real quick. Our first bit of news this week has to do with World of Speed. Slightly Mad Studios debuted a new trailer at E3 last week that goes into detail about the game's visual and performance tuning features. The developers want players to be able to customize their cars so much that no 2 players' cars will look the same. They're going for endless possibilities here. In addition to cosmetic upgrades, players can also unlock and apply specific installs and upgrades like engine parts, suspensions, tires, and so on. I'm just hoping they plan to only have the cosmetics part in the in-game cash shop, not the cars themselves. More news about Skyforge came in from E3 last week. We learned a bit more about the class system in-game along with the Ascension Atlas, the system by which each character progresses through the game and learns new skills, talents, and of course their classes. Skyforge operates on a multi-class system, allowing you to choose from one of 3 classes at the start and eventually branch out into all 10 classes should you choose to spend the time necessary to master them all. The Ascension Atlas, on the other hand, looks like a crazy hybrid between Skyrim's leveling system and Path of Exile's elaborate passage tree. It's definitely an impressive looking system. It's an impressive looking game in general. Be sure to catch DizzyPW's interview with Obsidian Entertainment, which better explains Skyforge and its take on classes, as well as class advancement. Also from the devs over at the My.com booth, DizzyPW got a chance to interview one of the developers on Armored Warfare, talking about the various roles that can be played in the game, as well as the game's heavy emphasis on a co-op versus AI experience that's probably going to bring in the most brownie points for the game. Unlike World of Tanks or War Thunder, Armored Warfare isn't glorifying the past. They've decided to bring a more modern free tank experience to the table without the endless repetition of PvP grind and tank upgrades. This is a tank game with a backstory, and voice-acted objectives at that. At first I was thinking this was just another copy, but that couldn't be any more wrong. Check out DizzyPW's E3 dev interview for more details. And while Armored Warfare is showing off modern tanks and tactics, World of Tanks is thinking football, or soccer, depending on where you're from. No, this isn't a late April Fool's joke, it's actually a tribute to the World Football Championship in Brazil. So you actually get to play a quick 6-minute match of soccer with tanks. It's kind of a cool idea, and honestly it's a game mode that I wouldn't mind trying out, but too bad it's not going to be in the game for that long. At E3, Wargaming's big announcements had to do with World of Tanks Blitz, which is their mobile game. Actually going to launch really soon in Europe and the US, and it's almost exactly like the PC version with 90 tanks spread across German, Russian, and US factions. World of Warships, on the other hand, has been focusing on rendering and revealing that there are battleships that literally have 100 guns that track alongside the player's aiming, and carriers that have 4 different types of planes available: bombers, torpedoes, dogfighters, and Recon. Warships is turning out pretty nice, and it looks like we'll be seeing a beta sometime later this year, which is actually surprising. We didn't think it was going to be this soon. In last week's recap, you guys were wanting a bit more information about Skara, The Blade Remains. Well, this past week they released a new gameplay trailer, showing off the work that they've done on the game in only 10 months of development using the Unreal 4 engine. The combat system in the game is meant to be based on skill rather than on stats, and it's also focused around combos and blocking mechanics. The game is still in early development, but they're planning on getting it closer to beta, which shouldn't be long from now. Skara is supposed to be an MMORPG based around this combat we've been talking about. Kind of like an Unreal Tournament, except battles have an impact on an overarching world where the story is written by the players. So statues are constructed in honor of the great warriors, towns change hands between factions, world zones get facelifts depending on who is in charge, so it's kind of that type of game for those who are wondering. We're hoping to learn more about the game on its path to beta. For now, there's plenty of what we already know at the Skara game profile at MMOHuts.com. And speaking of brutal combat MMOs, Mortal Online just completed undergoing some enormous changes and improvements over the past few months, including a new game engine, Oculus Rift support, and plenty more. The entire game engine has been updated, bringing with it new lighting and advanced foliage and grass system, as well as a new modern terrain system. The game engine upgrade, we see a lot better optimizations finally fixing the bugs. Not to mention it makes the game client nearly half the size as it was before, making it a lot easier to download and play. I definitely think this is the performance and visual upgrade Mortal Online players have been looking for. Next up, Elsword introduced new Hyperactive skills, abilities for high-level players in their second job class that represents a character's ultimate power. These Hyperactive skills are the ultimate reward for the new Ultimate Road Quest series. Upon reaching level 65, players can unlock the Ultimate Skills Quest for a shot at the Ultimate Key that allows the Hyperactive skill to be unlocked from their character's skill tree. I've got to admit, they are some of the best looking skills in the game. Back to E3 coverage, DizzyPW also got a quick chance to check out Battle Cry, the new free-to-play online battle arena from Bethesda. The game is currently in early alpha, but already the game delivers smooth gameplay. The game uses a steampunk World War I twist on medieval weaponry in a world with no guns. Apparently they got banned for some reason. So instead of mowing down enemies with guns, you use swords, bows, and other odd melee weapons to take them down. The game also sports a unique art style with plenty of bloody goodness, and although the gameplay may look a little basic at a glance, it's got plenty of room to grow. Unfortunately, we won't see this one for a little while. It looks like beta announcement is set for 2015. Dizzy also got his hands on Rise of Incarnates, the new free-to-play online 2v2 fighter from Namco Bandai. Now, this game almost simulates a Dragon Ball Z game because when you jump, you actually skyrocket into the air, and from there you can dash around, sending endless range projectiles and short attacks towards your enemy. It's actually pretty cool looking. According to Dizzy, the real challenge comes into play thanks to the 2v2 battle system and the chaotic map layouts. It's surprisingly easy to lose track of one of your opponents while zeroing in and dashing through the air to engage the other. There's plenty more to add to this game before it comes anywhere close to Steam, but we should have an E3 early look at the game up on the channel to show you guys in no time, so be on the lookout for that. In the meantime, check out DizzyPW's detailed article linked in the description below. And lastly, as a reminder guys, Swordsman Online just started up its closed beta, which is another game Dizzy got to check out early at E3. According to him, gamers in love with sparkly ultimate skills won't be disappointed with Swordsman's system, although incredibly challenging to unlock, involving picking up 10 or so rare power orbs dropped from the enemies, the effort and patience is worth every bit when it's released. Honestly, I can't wait to hop in and check it out. Also, as a reminder, Archlord 2 starts closed beta tomorrow, June 17th, and it looks like we still have plenty of keys at the giveaway section at MMOHuts.com, so be sure to pick one up. Anyway, guys, that's about all the MMO news and announcements for this week. Keep an eye out for our final coverage from E3 coming at you early on this week. Meanwhile, if you're looking for more information on the news topics, check the links in the description below. Otherwise, head over to MMOHuts.com/news for even more MMO news. Feel free to discuss the news in the comments below, or head over to MMOHuts.com/forums. But until next time, guys, that's going to be it for me. I'm James Blonde. See you out there, gamers.